So, your transmission for your transition. There are basically three movements that we're going to talk about today, and I'm going to use your transmission in your car to illustrate them, okay? In your car, you have park, reverse, neutral, drive, and then you have your lower gears. Well, we're going to focus on those three gears in the middle, which is reverse, neutral, and drive. Hey, golfers, Tony McMullen, the founder of Smart Golf Academy here. Today, we're going to talk about your transition. In other words, when you swing your golf club, when you swing up to the top of your swing, that's a direction. And then when you change directions to hit the golf ball, that's what we're going to talk about today. But not just that, we're going to talk about how to make that more efficient by using what I like to refer to as your transmission. In other words, just like your car, being able to change directions and speed up, slow down, that kind of stuff. Your transmission in your car helps you with all that. So what we want to talk about today is the transmission of your transition, okay? We're going to make that smoother for you. We're going to make it more efficient. We're going to give you some tips that are going to help you to play better golf and get yourself in a better position to hit the ball the way you want to. But before I get to that, just a couple of things. If you are a subscriber, we would love it if you would drop us a message. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know if we've helped your game. Just if there's anything that any content that we can make that might make your game a little better, drop us a line. Let us know. And if you're not a subscriber, we would love it if you would give us a subscription and a like. We've put out over 60 videos and we have over 1,000 subscribers. We've helped a lot of people to get a lot better in this game. We've helped their performance and we've helped them just to enjoy the game more. So if you're not a subscriber, we'd love for you to become one. So hit the little button at the bottom for subscription and a like. That would really help us, and I think it's going to help you too. So your transmission for your transition. There are basically three movements that we're going to talk about today, and I'm going to use your transmission in your car to illustrate them, okay? In your car, you have park, reverse, neutral, drive, and then you have your lower gears. Well, we're going to focus on those three gears in the middle, which is reverse, neutral, and drive, okay? So the first thing that we see a lot of people have a problem with is what we call a reverse pivot, okay? So reverse pivot is simply explained. When I get ready to hit the golf ball, doesn't matter what club you have in your hand, you can do it with any of them, okay? When you swing back, if you have a reverse pivot, when you swing back, you lean a little left, and then you realize, oh gosh, I'm a little out of position here. So when you go to hit the golf ball, to make room to hit it, you're going to stand up, and you're going to lean to the right, okay? So basically what you've done, if I was throwing a ball, and if I'm right-handed, I'm going to throw with my right hand, obviously, my left foot's going to hit the ground first before I let go of it if I throw it correctly, okay? If I throw it incorrectly, in other words, if I reverse pivot, this is the easiest way to understand it, I'm going to, on my right foot, I'm going to throw the ball with my right hand, I'm going to throw the ball, and then I'm going to step, okay? That's a good illustration as to what happens when you reverse pivot, because when you go to hit the ball, if I lean to the right, I'm hitting it off of my right foot. There's virtually no weight shift, and there's no power with that. That's an all upper body move. We see that in a lot of high handicappers, people who have trouble with consistency in how they hit the golf ball. So for a reverse pivot, that's a big no-no. We don't want that in our golf swing, okay? The next one we have is what we call a neutral pivot. Now we see this one a lot. A lot of people learn to play golf this way. The positive to it, or the upside to it, if you will, is that they rotate generally pretty well, okay? They use their lower body marginally, but the downside to it is that neutral pivot, there's really no weight shift. It's just kind of a turn. It's good for getting the club face square. Most people that are neutral pivot players can hit the ball fairly straight. They just can't hit it very far. So they're the ones that really have trouble, say on a windy day or something like that, because they really, they're okay downwind, but if they're hitting it into the wind, they get nothing out of it. And even on a good day when they're playing, their lack of distance creates an issue with them because they want to try to swing harder and harder. Well, if you're a neutral pivot guy or gal, when you swing, if you're trying to swing harder and harder, because you have a neutral pivot, your upper body does way too much work. So now we've gone from just a problem with distance to now we have a problem with direction as well, okay? Neutral pivot, like I said, a lot of people learn to play that way. You can play that way, but it's not your best option. So we've covered reverse, we've covered neutral. Now let's cover what we really want in the golf swing. We want a swing that cycles through if you're a right-handed player, it's going to cycle to the right side and get to the left side, okay? So that transition that we talked about, you're up and then you're changing direction, okay? Happens fairly rapidly, all right? So what we'd like to have there for a drive pivot would be right before you reach the top, you're getting into your left side, and then you're going to turn through, and you're really going to feel that weight go down into the ground with your left foot, which forces you up. We've talked about your kinematic sequence before, hips, torso, arms, club. Now you're doing that correctly in sequence, but more importantly, you're efficient with it. It's working for you. So now not only can you hit the ball for some pretty good distance because you've got force behind it, but you also can hit the ball fairly accurately that way. You've got some consistency because the club face is moving with you. Simple drill for helping you with that would be take the club, put it across your shoulders, turn back, press on your left foot, then turn. So we have what I like to call pressure, then mass. Your body is the mass, but we put pressure on the left foot, press, and then the mass, okay? That is a drive pivot. So we've gone through reverse. We don't want reverse. Reverse doesn't work. Neutral, a lot of people learn to play that way, but you're close to drive if you're a neutral pivot. You just need to put more weight on your left foot sooner and then turn. And then the last but not least, we have drive pivot, where we're actually hitting the ball for distance, power, accuracy, all the things that we want in our golf swing. You're going to have to do a little bit of work with this. You want to get in front of a mirror or a video camera and see what you have to identify which one you are first, and then make your correction based on the drill I gave you right here. Turn, press, turn, shift your weight, okay? Remember, it's pressure before mass. Work on that. You want to get to where you're comfortable with that, start hitting some balls that way, and you're going to start to notice an improvement in distance and direction. So for more tips like these, check out our online academy at smartgolfacademy.org. We're going to make you a better player.